In this session, we're going to do a little overview on opening balances. Typically, whenever you go live with the new system, if you're coming over from an old general ledger into the new general ledger, you're going to want to bring over opening balances. Now, those balances typically would consist of accounting. In other words, you're going to have receivables and payable balances you need to bring over. You're going to have banking. You may want to enter a cash float in your cash drawer or some petty cash to get started. Maybe have a bank balance in here and any outstanding checks and credit card balance. Also, when you have taxes, so here we have our taxes. Now you may also want to put in a balance for estate sales tax. You might have also a tax, say a battery tax that you have to remit, tire tax, anything like that. On payroll, you would have payroll liabilities. You may have Receiver General, U.S. Treasury, health insurance, things like that. So all of those balances are going to want to be entered after you go live. Now, the reason why we say after go live is because you still need to reconcile in your old general ledger and figure out exactly what is owed or the totals are on those balances. Then you can bring them into the new system. That's all going to be done in the general ledger, and it's going to be through the new transaction. This is a manual entry. Now, the offsetting entry for all of these opening balances will be what we call the opening balance equity account. So the total offsetting entry will all be in this one account. Let's do a little quick overview. So A, entries for GL account opening balances can be entered at any time after your go live date. What that means is they don't have to be on that very first day. It could be a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later. Everything is going to be backdated in. For best results, prepare a list of current account balances using the date prior to your go live date. In other words, we're going to backdate at least 1 day or more prior to your go live date. C, for documented support on GL opening balances, you can see in the online help system and location training tours under opening balances. There will be a series of videos there going over each one. One thing you do want to note, if your software is set up as a multi-location enterprise, be aware that entering opening balances will be dependent on how your accounts are set up to be managed. Enterprise offers 2 options on account management for bank and credit card accounts, receivable accounts, accounts payable. Option 1, manage the account at the enterprise. Option 2, manage the account at the location. If any of your bank and or credit card accounts are set to manage by enterprise, these opening balance entries will be entered at the enterprise. If any of the accounts are set to manage by location, then the opening balances will be entered at the locations. If any of your receivable accounts are set to manage by enterprise, these opening balance entries will be entered at the enterprise or each location. Now, this is the only one you can do this on. Receivable accounts, you can enter at each location or do them all in the enterprise. If any of the accounts are set to manage by location, then the opening balance entries must be entered at the location. You're not going to enter them at the enterprise. If any of your payable accounts are set to manage by enterprise, these opening balance entries will be entered at the enterprise. If any of the accounts are set to manage by location, then the opening balance entries must be entered at the location. All the same procedures will apply for opening balances. The only difference is where the opening balances are entered, enterprise or location. So that is it for the overview. What we'll do now is go into a series of videos explaining each individual opening balance and how to enter them.